Awesome. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our next installment of Blend 360's Women's History Month web series. My name is Kelsey, and I am the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Specialist for Talent Solutions. For today's episode, I will be chatting with CJ Lee, who is our Global Operating Officer for the DSX side of Blend. Hi, CJ. How are you doing today?
Hi, Kelsey. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day today to chat with us. We'd love to learn more about you and, like to learn more about your background and what you do here at Blend.
Yeah, sure. So I'm currently the Global Operating Officer of Blend's Data Science Solutions Division. I'm responsible for pretty much the overall operation of the business, as well as I oversee our India Global Delivery Center and our All-Star program.
Wow.
Yeah, I know sounds a mouthful, but it is, we're a fast-growing organization, so we all have a lot of responsibilities.
Yes, exactly. And that's awesome. I just found out that you're overseeing the India operation, which is awesome. I know that's growing rapidly as well. So congrats on that. And I know it's doing really well. So, and that's all thanks to you. So awesome. So for today's episode, the theme is going to be #EmpowerHer, which is all about women supporting women and women empowerment. So with that being said, CJ, my first question for you today is, how can women support other women in their organization?
Yeah, I think, there are just so many great tips and ideas shared by other women and the men. I was, just in preparation of our conversation today, I even just did a little Googling, and I think there's just so many great tips, such as just speaking up for each other, right? And especially around like giving feedback for for women, we need to be a little bit more direct and be more specific, right? And then also about mentorship and sponsorship. So I would say probably of all those tips, one I found very powerful. I think it's completely underutilized. It's really the mentorship and sponsorship.
Yes.
In my career, so I have about 20 years of work experience, and all my experience is really in the very much male dominated space, right? In the data tech, analytics. Right. And I worked for big organizations that's over almost 250,000 employees to startup companies, and I have had both formal and informal being a mentee and mentor, and I just found them to be so useful, right? I think that nowadays, including Blend, most organizations actually have a formal mentorship, and I would say, take advantage of that. And also, you don't have to just have one mentor, right? And if there's a person in your organization that you connect well with and you feel like the role model, I would say be proactive and reach out. You can always have more than one mentor. Maybe one mentor is a little bit more focused on the technical side, more mentor to focus a little bit more on maybe business, or another mentor focus a little bit more on the say leadership, right? And
career
then also,
yeah,
exactly. And I also think for those who are in manager leadership position too, is keep your eye out for if you can make an introduction or connection to connect some mentees to mentors. I just found that to be extremely powerful for especially for women. I think in the tech tech data and analytics space. Yeah.
And it's always great to see women in leadership in those male dominated industries. That's Maggie and I, when we were speaking last week for the series, talking about, she's been in sales, and that's very male dominated, in telecommunications, and just being able to navigate that. And I think the mentorship, is huge for anybody, having somebody to look up to have coach you, to have that career development aspect. And like you said, it's the other way around too with management. See those employees that you have that are showing real potential and want to learn more and want to be better. I think that's a great way of women supporting other women within their
Absolutely.
organization for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So what do you how would you encourage women to not give up? Because maybe, they've tried the mentorship program, or maybe they've, tried to, break that barrier. What would you say to those women who just feel like, man, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should do something else? What would you say to them to, keep them going and to pursue their dreams in their career?
Yeah, so Kelsey, so for me, I think first I would like to sort of reframe the word giving up, right? I think to me, giving up in a way, it's actually about being flexible.
Yeah,
A lot of times we talk about know when to give up or pivot. It's very important because sometimes just keep on trying and working hard, just it doesn't work. You need to maybe look into different directions, right? So that's one really around reframing what giving up means. Giving up does not mean you quit, right? But it
right.
just means you have to be, flexible. And also over the years, something I actually developed for myself, and I call it the 3 LTs, which means 3 levels of a tries. So what that means is I usually, before I completely pivot or change in direction, I would have to give myself at least 3 tries, right? And when I say 3 levels of a tries, meaning not just, okay, try it once, try it twice, try it 3 times, but it's really slightly, each time you try, it has to be slightly different or maybe a little bit
Right.
deeper, slightly different direction. Um, and I found that worked really well. And I think a lot of times you'll find for most of things, when you really give it 3 levels of a tries, they will work. Or if they don't work, that means it's actually a sign to say, you know what, you actually, you do need to kind of just pivot and change your direction. So
Yeah.
that's just something I found very helpful about, being flexible,
Yeah.
reframe about giving up, and then 3 levels of a tries.
You need to trademark that, CJ. That's awesome. You need
That's a
to
good
trademark
suggestion. I should. And that's you like really recognizing, right? This is
Yeah.
something I thought about. Like maybe I should do that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome because that's something that, I've never even thought about before. And I'm sure, a lot of people watching this, they're like, oh, that's a great, that's a great resource. That's a really great option. It's like, I really want to do this, but, let me try this way and it didn't work. So let me adjust it a little bit. Let me tweak it a little bit more. I like that a lot. So yeah, definitely work on getting that trademark.
Yeah, give it a try. You let me know if it takes more than 3 tries or maybe it's, but three
Yeah.
I found really the sort of like the sweet spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me too, I'm just starting in my new role here at Blend. Previously, I was a talent acquisition partner with Blend. And then
Mhm.
the beginning of the year, I went into the diversity, equity, and inclusion role, the first of, its kind here at Blend to get that established. So I'm definitely going to keep that in the back of my mind when I'm trying to get things done.
Yeah.
Are the 3 levels for
Yep.
sure. Now,
Mhm.
CJ, what advice would you give to young women who are entering the profession that you're in? So, data science, analytics. What would you tell them? What advice would you give?
That's a good question. I think this probably would apply to anybody, not necessarily just a data, or data science our field. I would say for any young woman entering just the professional world in general, right, will be just to be your own advocate. What we mean by that is, you have to ask for what you want. A lot of times we think, oh, it's the manager's job to help me. Yes, it's true, but then it's also your own job to do that, right?
Right.
And my thing is, if you don't ask, you don't get. That's you have to be proactive,
Right.
and know what you want and work hard. We have to work hard. That's something we know we can control, right? So know what you want and work hard. It's also important to share what you want, talk about, and also talk about your career goals with your manager and with your mentors or with anybody in the organization that you can, reach out to who can help you, right? Because if you don't know, they don't know, then it's going to be
Exactly.
hard for them to, for them to help you. So just, having regular conversations and,
Yeah.
talk to your manager about it.
Yeah.
Um, I know the point is a little bit maybe contradicting to what I just said about know what you want. I know a lot of times, especially for young women or new joiners who's starting the professional career, you don't know what you want, right? You're still trying to figure it out. So my thing is, even if you don't know or you're not 100% sure what you want, or you whether you even have the skills to do certain things, don't worry about it. Stealing the tagline from Nike, just do it. Really, just do it, right? And related to the previous point I made about giving up, it's really about being flexible or changing direction. So if you choose to do something, commit to it. If you don't like it, or if that's not what you want, it's okay to change your mind, right? It's okay. And you actually have to be flexible with that. And finally, I think by just doing it, it's actually going to help you figure out what you want and make a progress along the way. I mean, I have a 20 some years, about 20 years of some work experience. I think every day I'm still kind of figuring out a lot of things. What is it that I want, right? Exactly. So that would be advice I would give to young women, entering any profession.
Yeah. And that's, I think, too, here at Blend, what I've been so grateful for so far is just the mentorship and the strategy around development. So for me, I had a strategy map that I worked out with Maggie about where I wanted to be, how I thought I was going to do it, and having her support, so, like you said, communicating what you want your outcome to be, how you want to develop within your career. Because you're your own best advocate, right? Nobody knows what you want besides you. And you need to make that known to others, so that way, you have a chance of achieving those. Because if, you're working hard, but you don't know what your end goal is going to be, or you haven't communicated what you want your end goal to be, how are you supposed to achieve that, right? So
I love what you use about, the strategy map, right? I know here at Blend, the leaders, we use a strategy map, giving the direction about the business, about the company, right? And I think it's just, that's a great tip too. Build a strategy map for your own career, and use that as sort of the blueprint in the conversation with your manager.
Yeah, and definitely have that open dialogue, if things change, if you notice like maybe like this wasn't as important, this aspect wasn't important as this one, and we need to adjust. And that's not something I learned until I started working here at Blend, and definitely have developed a career path for myself. And I know there's a lot of other employees here that feel the same, because the All-Star program, like that's a wonderful program that we have here. And it's so good to see so many women a part of that. We just had our graduation ceremony. I think, was it last week or the week before?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it was,
and that was
one
just
of our biggest cohort.
It was huge, and I heard the next one's going to be even larger. So it's just so great to see that, and to let women know, hey, there are options out there for you. You don't have to do just the standard path, right? So I think that's awesome. But yeah, CJ, it's been so wonderful getting to know you a little bit more. I think your advice today has been so important for, not just women, but everybody watching. These are tips that anyone watching can, take and make their own, to help them, empower themselves, right? That's all what we're about today, is empowering. So thank you so much for your thoughts and your time today, and make sure you trademark your 3 levels.
Well, thanks, Kelsey, for having me. And, and also for those, especially at Blend or even outside of Blend, if you are interested in, having me as a mentor, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, the best thing too is, if you want to check out more about that, more about the All-Star program we have, make sure to check out our website at blend360.com. You can look us both up on LinkedIn, reach out to CJ. She's a great resource to have, for sure. And then next week, we'll have another installment of our Women's History Month web series. So make sure to check that out as well.
Okay. Thanks, Kelsey.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Thank you, CJ.